Welcome back to Tarot by Rick. I'm Rick Hensey. People ask me when I do readings why I use a particular deck of cards. Well, the deck I use is the Rider-Waite deck. It's been my go-to deck for over 40 years. It was the deck I started off with. I find it very visual. The images are very vibrant. I can look at a card in a particular position on a spread and be able to interpret that card as it relates to the person I'm reading at that time. The Rider-Waite deck has been around since the early 1900s. Tarot cards themselves, there is no firm evidence of when they were first developed, but it dates back to early Italy, where it was played as a game for the wealthy people, and then it migrated into being used for divination and being able to do readings with it. I like the Rider-Waite deck because of its simplicity, because of all the images that's on it, and because of the availability of the cards. There are literally thousands of tarot decks on the market today. If you want an idea, just log on to Amazon.com or do a Google search for tarot cards and you will see just how many decks there are out there. I'm a collector. I have over 200 decks. I've worked with most of them, but my favorite deck I always go back to is, again, the Rider-Waite deck. And that's because of the images. I'm going to go to my giant deck here just to show you some of the images, and so you'll have an idea of what they look like. And that's the Fool. I showed it on a previous video. This is the Magician. I'm not going to go through the whole deck, but give you an idea of what some of the images look like. This is the High Priestess. You can get, there we go, the light. Okay. And we got the Empress. And we've got the Emperor, and it goes on and on and on. As you see, the colors are very vibrant, very easy to look at, very easy to interpret in a reading. The reason that people like to use the Rider-Waite card is because it's so universal. It can fit almost any kind of reading, any kind of question that may come up. And again, it's great for beginners because it's an easy way for them to see all the cards. There are 78 cards, and there are 78 images to those cards, and what I would recommend is you get a deck, a Rider-Waite deck, and just begin to sit and look at the cards. Every deck of cards comes with what we call a little white book, and that's just a reference book for that particular deck and what some of the meanings might be for that deck of cards. We'll discuss meanings in another video because that's a very important part of learning the tarot. When I say learning the tarot, don't let that scare you. Don't go and buy a book and think that you have to memorize what every card is and what it stands for, because that particular card may mean something entirely different in another reading or in a different position in your spread as you're doing a particular reading. So get an overview of the cards, but my main suggestion is to buy a deck of Rider-Waite cards, leave them in order as they come, 0 through the numbers, and look at every card. Spend 2 or 3 minutes looking at every card. Look at all the aspects. Look at the background, the foreground. Look at the colors. Look at the character that may be portrayed in that card, or the imagery that may be portrayed in that card. Some of the cards may seem a little scary to you. There's the Death card, the Devil card. Don't let that scare you. Those cards are there for a purpose. They do not literally mean the devil or death. For example, the Death card means transition, the death of an old situation, the death of something you've been involved in, and the beginning of something new, something more exciting. Same thing with the Devil card. The Devil card may indicate to you that there is something going on behind your back, that someone may be out for you, or that you may be suspicious of someone, that you need to be aware. But again, that depends on where that card is in the spread that you're doing in your reading, and that's very important. So just take some time with the Rider-Waite deck, look at all the images, really just soak up the images, and I know I'm repeating myself, but this is the very best way to begin to look at the tarot cards and see what they stand for. In my next few videos, I'll be discussing spreads. I have a couple of surprises about spreads that most people have never heard of. That's something I just personally came up with. I'm really excited about, and I'll get into that a little bit later. As far as the meanings of the cards, I'll be getting into that in a very short video coming up soon. So please stay tuned, and thank you.